Hey, Dan Passarelli here. In our last video, we talked about implied volatility and how it relates to historical volatility and how that could give us a clue as to whether options are cheap or expensive. Today, I want to talk about what I call relative implied volatility, and that's basically how cheap or expensive it is relative to itself. So what I like to do is I like to pull up a chart and I like to look at the implied volatility over the past 6 months. And if today's implied volatility is in the top half of that 6 month range, that's one indication it's high and options are expensive and better to sell. And if it's in the bottom half of that 6 month range, that's one indication that options are cheap and they're better to buy. Take a look at this chart of AT&T. If we look at the volatility chart down at the bottom, we look at the red line, that's the implied volatility chart, and we see that today's implied volatility is in the top half of this 6 month range. Today's implied volatility is higher than it was at almost any point during the past 6 months, except maybe right over here. So this is one indication that implied volatility is expensive, and we'd probably rather put on option selling strategies. Now, if we look at DDD, that's 3D systems, we have sort of the opposite scenario. We have implied volatility that's in the bottom half of the 6 month range. And if we just isolate that one factor, that could be one indication that implied volatility is low, and it might be better to buy options. Of course, there's some other criteria we would like to look at as well. So that's relative implied volatility. I hope that helps. This is Dan Passarelli of Market Taker Mentoring. Trade smart.